What's up guys, Daniel Langwish here. This has to be one of the most frustrating reviews that I have ever done. This review comparing the Beats Fit Pro with the earbuds that I've been using for a couple years now, the PowerBeats Pro. And each of these earbuds has many things about it that make me want to recommend them as the number one earbud for most people, and especially people that do a lot of fitness and working out. And you may be surprised to hear that, as both of these are made by Beats, and maybe if you haven't been in the loop recently, you might still be thinking Beats, oh geez, that's, overpriced earbuds that are bass heavy and aren't worth the money. But I gotta tell you, these are not the Beats of old. Ever since Beats has partnered with Apple, they have really upped their quality. They have toned back the bass, the sound quality is surprisingly good, and just the overall build quality of their products has greatly improved. And the fact that each of these earbuds has the H1 chip made by Apple, this means that these devices work just as good with your iPhone as AirPods do. And like I mentioned, I have been using the PowerBeats Pro for a couple years now, and despite some extremely annoying flaws, and I'll get to those later, I have found that these are the best earbuds for me. Between a super secure fit and pretty good sound quality, these earbuds were able to make up for those annoyances. And so when Beats announced the Beats Fit Pro, I was super excited because it kind of seemed like a clear upgrade over the PowerBeats Pro. I mean, these have a lot of what the AirPod Pros have in terms of active noise cancellation. They've got, all the transparency modes, spatial audio, and it doesn't have any of the magnetic charging issues, which have been so annoying with these PowerBeats Pros, and many people have had those issues. And so on paper, these seemed like the perfect earbuds. Let me show you what I mean. When looking at the Beats Fit Pro, they seem like an objective improvement over the PowerBeats Pro. The earbuds are a lot smaller and more discreet. The case is way smaller than the absurdly large PowerBeats Pro case, although still not quite as small as you would see with like an AirPods case. And the design of the magnetic charging on the new Beats Fit Pro is way better. Like, the earbuds snap into place every single time. There's no, might not be charging. They go in and it just snaps perfectly into place. And this is in stark contrast to the PowerBeats Pro. This is the most annoying issue that I've had with them, and it seems like a lot of users are having this issue, in that when you put the earbuds back into the case to charge, probably half of the time, one of the earbuds doesn't attach magnetically. And I even, take my time and press the earbuds in and really try to make sure they attach, but it's really finicky. And what can happen is one of the earbuds doesn't attach, or maybe you throw it in your bag and one of them comes loose, and then one of your earbuds is draining battery in your bag without you even knowing it. So I have had multiple times where I've gone to then use my PowerBeats Pro, and one of the earbuds is completely dead because it didn't attach magnetically. It is such an annoying issue, and it's an issue that, while I loved everything else about the PowerBeats Pro, I was looking for something that could fix it and be an improvement, and that is what I wanted in the Beats Fit Pro. And that's why I was so ecstatic when the Beats Fit Pro completely fixed this. They snap in super securely, no question of whether they're charging. Now, moving through the other positives of these Beats Fit Pro, I would say the sound quality is nearly identical to the PowerBeats Pro, and that's honestly impressive given the smaller size of these earbuds. I would say their sound profile is your typical V curve, where they're emphasizing the low end of the bass and then the high end as well. And maybe you don't have as much in the mids. So if you're an extreme audiophile, you might have a problem with that. But honestly, I've found for most people, you're gonna think these things sound great. In addition, the Beats Fit Pro bring with them one of the top features of the AirPods Pro, and that is active noise cancellation. And I found the performance of the noise cancellation to be very similar to the AirPods Pro, which is awesome to see. They bring with them transparency mode, letting you, listen to your surroundings. They have adaptive EQ, which means the sound quality and the EQ changes with your environment, which is actually a pretty sweet feature. And then they also bring spatial audio, which, can be hit or miss. Some soundtracks with spatial audio, it really makes it sound like you are sitting in a room and you can hear the instruments coming from different areas around you. But I also found on other tracks, when you just force the earbuds to do spatial audio, it's more just kind of a gimmick rather than actually being an awesome feature. And for the Beats Fit Pro to be bringing all of these features only in at $200, I honestly feel like it's a pretty good value, and in terms of all the tech it's bringing and kind of punching above its weight class. And so you might be listening up until this point and be thinking, Daniel, didn't you just earlier say that you were going to get rid of the Beats Fit Pro? You know, what's wrong with them? It sounds like they're awesome. But you see, with every good thing that the Beats Fit Pro adds and takes a step forward, it feels like they take an equally large or even greater step back in other areas. Let's start off with the earbuds themselves. And one of the top reasons that I went with the PowerBeats Pro was with this wingtip design that they have, because I have tried so many other earbuds, AirPods, other wingtip earbuds, and every time I'm working out, I found that they would just slowly throughout the workout start to become loose, and that was so annoying. And that's why I've been ecstatic using the PowerBeats Pro, because these are the first earbuds that have never, not once, come loose during a workout. They are the most secure earbuds I've ever used, and that's honestly probably the biggest reason why I use them. And so I was a little nervous when Beats went with this wingtip design of the Beats Fit Pro, because I really loved the over-here nature of the PowerBeats Pro, but I was hopeful that they would design the wingtip to be just as secure as the PowerBeats Pro. And while I'm sure this can vary person to person because ears are very different, with the Beats Fit Pro, I just found the same problem where they'd be secure for a little while, but then I would slowly start to feel them get loose. And I'm just thinking about the earbuds throughout my workout rather than being able to focus on what I'm actually doing. I'm constantly thinking about, I gotta adjust it a little bit. And that's just extremely annoying, to be honest. And I thought this might just be a problem with my ears. Maybe I've got weird ears. So I let my wife try the earbuds as well. And she liked the earbuds when she was using them around the house, but then when she went for a run, the same problem happened. The earbuds started to become loose as she was running, and she'd have to keep adjusting them. And that's one thing, but on top of that, I just found the Beats Fit Pro to be more uncomfortable to wear for long periods of time. Like, while the PowerBeats Pro have a much larger footprint than the Beats Fit Pro, the actual part that is going in your ear is actually smaller. And so every time I wore the Beats Fit Pro, not only would my ear hurt because of this larger, piece that's inside of my ear, but I also found the rubber wingtip pressing on my ear was just uncomfortable. I could, wear them for maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour, but by then I would need to take them out because my ear was just hurting. Now again, maybe this was, just something with my ears, and maybe your ears would adjust to it over time. Maybe you would get used to them and it wouldn't be painful anymore, but this was just my experience. And then we move to the cases of the two headphones. And I mentioned earlier, I love how much smaller the Beats Fit Pro case is, and I absolutely do. But what they improved in making the case smaller, they made worse with just how cheap the case feels. Seriously, I was so disappointed with the quality of this case. I mean, you hold it and the top cover, you can literally jiggle it back and forth. And so every time you're opening and closing the case, it feels like a cheap piece of plastic that just feels awful. And I'm really disappointed because, these kind of seem like the successors to the PowerBeats Pro. And I never had that problem with the PowerBeats case. Yeah, it's really large, but it at least was very secure. The top of the case doesn't jiggle, and it opens up nice and secure. Then we move to the controls, and the controls on the Beats Fit Pro are more limited than they were on the PowerBeats Pro. You see, on the PowerBeats, you've got your button on each earbud that you can press for play, pause, skip track, but then they also have dedicated volume buttons on the top, which are clear and really easy to press for changing the volume, which you're gonna be doing quite a bit when you're listening to music. But on the Beats Fit Pro, you only have a single button on the edge of the earbuds. And so, they give you customization where you can change, does a long press change the volume, or does a long press, change it from transparency mode to noise cancellation? And while I appreciate the customization, I found setting it to volume wasn't very good because you would have to press and hold and then it would start increasing the volume. But if you didn't let up quick enough, I would crank the volume up and be blasting my eardrums out, and that's not a fun experience. And overall, I just didn't feel like I had as much control with the earbuds as I did with the PowerBeats. And then on top of that, given the small design of the Beats Fit Pro and the button for, play and pause is kind of on the edge of the earbuds, I found every time I was putting the earbuds, into my ear, I would accidentally hit the play pause button and it would start my music right away, even when I didn't want it to. And maybe that's something you get better at the more you put them in, but again, that was just something I did not have with the PowerBeats Pro, and I found it to be pretty annoying. And then the last problem I had with the Beats Fit Pro is that when I would have them in my ears and I would have, maybe noise cancellation on, and I'm not listening to anything, there would be this really soft buzz that was happening. And I tried different things to get rid of it. I reset the earbuds. It kept having this soft buzz, and I did research online and there were other people that were saying they had this issue as well. And I'm not gonna lie, once you hear it, it is impossible to not hear anymore. My wife, she didn't even hear it. But I heard it, and it kind of defeated the purpose of noise cancellation mode when you have a buzz that is just happening the whole time. And so I don't know if that was just certain models that have that issue, but for me, that just was another thing on top that was annoying. So which one would I recommend? Well, you see, this is just a tough review because on paper, I would have said the Beats Fit Pro. I mean, it sure seems like they bring all these awesome features. They bring all the features from the AirPods Pros and are more fitness focused than the AirPods and have the wingtip to stay in your ears. These would have been the ones I recommend. But the issues were a deal breaker. So much of a deal breaker that I just right now can't recommend these. I'm gonna be sticking with my PowerBeats Pros, as despite their charging issue, which again is so annoying, and I'm hoping maybe they bring a refresh of these so that and they fix that issue. But I gotta stick with these because they are super secure and they don't have any of the other issues that these Beats Fit Pros are having. So what would I recommend for you? Well, if you're like me and you work out a lot and having a secure earbud is like your number one priority and you haven't had success with other earbuds, then I still say the PowerBeats Pros are the best earbuds for Apple users that are looking for the most secure fit. I mean, these things are never falling out. However, let's say you don't care as much about that secure fit and you're tempted by these features on the Beats Fit Pro. Well, I would honestly probably just go with the AirPods Pros instead. And that's because the AirPods Pros, they've been out for a while now, where there are a lot of sales going on with the AirPod Pros where you can a lot of times find them cheaper than the Beats Fit Pros. And they're, have a lot of the same features, but they're more comfortable to wear. They don't have any buzzing issues. The case is more secure. It's smaller. Just a better quality product, and I think you'll be happier with it. But what do you guys think? Am I being too harsh on the Beats Fit Pros? Maybe you have these and you had a different experience. I would love to hear about that. You can drop it down in the comments below, or maybe use the PowerBeats Pros. What are your favorite wireless earbuds, especially if you're someone who likes to work out? But if this video helped you out, I'd really appreciate if you drop a like below, subscribe to the channel. I'm a channel that likes to make videos about productivity, digital organization, and tech videos just like this one. So if you want to hear more about that, definitely consider subscribing, and it's your way of supporting the channel. And I've got other tech reviews and comparisons, kind of like this one, the Google TV Chromecast compared to the Apple TV 4K. So if you haven't checked that one out, I recommend it. Otherwise, YouTube's got another suggestion for you down below. But either way, I appreciate you taking some time tuning in with me for this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Until next time.